Hey, how are you guys doing today? So today I'm going to go over my STOVER Ultimate program is what I'm calling it. It's an intermediate program for lifters who have been lifting for a while and have a competent understanding of the barbell exercises and a vast history and a little bit of a strength base built up on those exercises. I've been developing this for 4 months now, and in another video I will go over the research and inspirations because there definitely was specific research studies that have gone into this program. And aside from that, I've been using it to my own benefit. All of my lifts have gone up by at a minimum of 50 pounds each on the big barbell movements, aside from overhead press because that progresses a little bit slower. And yeah, it's very similar to my own work, or at least how this workout is laid out. I've also been using the methods here on my own clients to levels of success with them as well. One thing you'll notice with this workout program is there is no rest day. This is assuming that you're lifting every single day, taking a rest day when you need it, maybe once or twice a month. If you're unable to hit this volume currently, you definitely could take a rest day every 3 days or every 6 or every 9 or space it out that way, as it is spaced out in 3-day blocks. One thing that you'll notice here is a goal of the program is to accrue a total tonnage. And what that is, it's the total addition of weights lifted throughout all the sets and reps in a particular exercise, taxing a particular muscle group. So if you were to have a leg day once a week, you may squat, you may deadlift, you may leg press, you may leg extension, lunges, hamstring curl, calves, and then your legs are taxed, but you will really only hit the primary barbell movement once in that workout, and you might be very tired and conditioned from that workout while not hitting optimal growth. This way you're able to hit legs really you're able to hit the barbell squat specifically 3 times in 7 days, and you're hitting legs on 2 of those days in the 3-day block. And because we don't have a lot of unnecessary volume, your legs are able to recover so that they can hit the priorities, which are the big barbell movements. And this is for natural, unenhanced lifters where muscle levels of muscle and percentage of lean body mass is directly proportional to their strength. So let's just go ahead and go into the workout. So B1 and day 1 is the flat barbell bench. So you see I have heavy single next to every single barbell movement. So this is as you work up and you're warming up on the barbell movement, you actually pass the weight that you're going to do for your straight sets, or the 5x5 in this case, and hit one heavy single. This shouldn't be a max out. This should be a calculated number that you know you're going to hit anywhere from an 85% to 95% of your 1 rep max, and then you drop the weight down to your 5x5 work. And this heavy single should increase by 5 pounds every single bench day. So on B1, B2, and B3. Once you get a little bit heavier, you may have issues with technique, or maybe you weren't able to hit your caloric levels or get enough sleep. So you should expect to hit those the 5-pound increase at least 2 of those 3 days. Going down, we have machine fly, which adjusts for adduction of the shoulders, which is one of the other movements of the chest that doesn't get a hit as much for in the flat bench. That's why I have it here. And that's one thing you'll notice is a lot of these, the exercise selection is very, very important, as well as the sets and reps here, because they have quite a bit of synergy. Because although the barbell movements do work a lot of muscle and they gain a lot of muscle as well as strength, there can be some motions and some muscle groups that aren't taxed quite as heavily as others in the movement, and that's what I look for the assistance exercises. Skull crushers are behind the head, so you're hitting the long head of the tricep. And whenever we do even the assistance exercises, you try to use as much muscle as you can. That's our goal with this program, is to get into the gym, not spend as much time as we can, but to grow as much muscle as possible by using as much muscle as we can with a significant amount of weight. Another thing you'll notice is I'd never really go higher than 8 sets. The only thing you could really go higher than 8 if you really wanted to, you could go up to 10 or 12, is the lateral dumbbell raise, as that tends to get a little bit too heavy on the elbows. I do that very close body. But other than that, everything's pretty low rep so that you're able to see consistent strength increases. The barbell squat can be low bar or high bar. Personally, I do low bar. And the strict standing overhead press. Now this isn't a push press. This isn't a military press. This is legs locked or knees locked, hips and glutes flexed overhead press where you push your head through and achieve lockout at the top. These can be pretty taxing on your core. I personally don't use a belt when I'm doing this exercise, but you definitely could benefit because you have to do this directly after barbell squat in this program. And that's one of the reasons why I added leg extensions after that, so you don't have to do any more core stability specifically for that day. And all of these days have 3 exercises each. If you have a weak point or a priority, this is just supposed to be the backbone of your program. If you have a priority that you want to hit or you feel like isn't being hit, go ahead and add it in. Me personally, I do a set of calves every single day, and some days I do abs. I think I do those on my B one day, as well as maybe I want to hit the biceps a little bit harder or my hamstrings a little bit harder. I may add 1 or 2 exercises, but if I don't have time, I stick to these 3 exercises knowing that I'm going to get consistent, optimal muscle growth through this program. For deadlift, that is assuming the conventional deadlift. If you're going to sumo deadlift, totally fine. You just want to add a little bit more hamstring work into this program, as those tend to be a little bit more quad dominant, and though using the posterior chain, a little bit lighter on the posterior chain. Easy bar curl to forehead. Again, we don't want this to be as much of an isolation exercise. We want this to be high into the forehead, so you get a little bit of shoulder flexion as well. Weighted chin-ups. This is one of the markers that makes this not a novice program. Most novices are unable to do weighted chin-ups. So if you are unable to do weighted chin-ups, you could do regular chin-ups, but realistically, if your body fat percentage is over 20%, your priority should be doing conditioning and being at a caloric deficit so you can manage your calories a little bit and get to more of a healthier range of body fat percentage where you're not lifting as much of your own body weight on these weighted chin-ups, period. Same thing goes for weighted dips. High cable pushdowns, these are over your head. Again, these are not an isolation exercise. You don't necessarily want to use a lot of momentum with these, but you should be using your entire body to brace. That's another thing is all of these barbell movements, in order to progress how you want to progress, where your heavy single is increasing by 5 pounds each time, this is assuming that you know how to brace and that you have a very comprehensive understanding of these barbell movements. If you do not, it's very important to either work with a trainer or study extensively so you're able to be confident that you're not going to injure yourself. Doing these exercises more frequently is one of the best methods of injury prevention, but that's assuming that your technique is immaculate and you're progressing with perfect technique without compromises there. Yeah, lateral dumbbell raise. These are with your elbows tight to your body. These aren't with your arms fully extended, as you'll soon find that 8 reps isn't enough if your arms are extended. Pendlay row, this is from a dead stop on the floor, rowing up your sternum and then back down. The carryover to these with deadlift is very good, and you'll also realize how much core stability, hamstring, and glute work gets emphasized in the Pendlay row, just keeping it steady so you can tax at a 5x5. And none of these exercises are done to failure. You always want to be about 1 to 3 reps shy of failure, so you're able to consistently hit this exercise and with this weight without compromising technique. The line incline dumbbell curl is probably one of the only isolation-ish exercises in this program, and the main reason for that is because it's just a great exercise. It's one of the few exercises that actually tax the bicep through a full range of motion. Front squat tends to be a little bit more quad dominant of a movement. That's why this whole day is a little bit intense. The eight reps of front squats and the 6 sets of barbell squat, which is why I made the strict standing overhead press just a 3x3 in this SO 3-day. Rack pulls 4x5. These are at the knee rack pulls. These aren't above the knee rack pulls. And I believe that covers everything. Again, conventional deadlift, not a sumo deadlift. If you have any questions, feel free to comment or message me, and I can help to add a little bit of enlightenment to the program. I will do a few follow-up videos to show you how I've decided on this program. It's worked very well for me. I've added a minimum of 50 pounds to all my lifts. I've gained 20 pounds in the past 4 months, and with very little additions of body fat to that. So this program is very good at adding muscle, adding size, adding strength to natural athletes that are able to commit to lifting every single day. Now, of course, your gains are not going to be as frequent if you're including rest days in here, but because the exercise selection is so minimal, your rest should be appropriate if you're hitting your calorie goals. I would say this program is borderline impossible if you're not at a caloric surplus. This isn't a dieting or cutting program at all. All right, well, thanks for tuning in. I will, of course, post future videos. Anyone who's still been watching these videos for a long time, I really appreciate you, and I hope you have a good day. Thanks.